So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bahamian community and our friends from the Turks and Caicos Islands, who I just said to the reporters outside, we consider in the Bahamas you to be kith and kin. And I was explaining to the Foreign Service officer and those who were traveling with me from Nassau today that it was in 1862 that a decision was made to separate the two countries. And the dispute was over salt. Yes, it was. And Mike Creighton, if you read Mike Creighton's book, he said part of the difficulty was that the tax revenue was significant because you were mining salt, or I didn't know what you do. The salt pans, I still see them in Grand Turk, right? And the Bermuda, the investors were from Bermuda, and they said, well, enough of this, paying taxes. And at the time, they said it took 2 weeks to get to Nassau, to the House of Assembly. So by the time the representative got to Nassau, it was too late to do anything about it. So now, of course, we've got aircraft, and they travel every day, and they told me it was going to take 2 hours to get here, but we got here in 1 hour and 10 minutes. And I didn't see any line between us, by the way, as we flew over. But it's wonderful to be here tonight, and I want to especially take this opportunity to officially, if I can say that, present to you the Honorary Consul, the first Honorary Consul of the Bahamas to the Turks and Caicos Islands, Mrs. Janesta Messi. And this is a very proud accomplishment for me as minister. It's been a long time, longer than 10 years. I've been minister 3 times. This is the 3rd time. And since 2002, we've been mulling over how to get this done. I said to the reporters, it's one thing or the next, but finally the British government agreed on Mrs. Messi, and now here she is. And they asked whether there's a finite limit on whether this is finite in some sense. I told them, no, it's not finite, it's open-ended. And one of the jobs I hope that she's able to accomplish is that we're thinking that within 5 years, we should have a consul general here, a professional diplomat. So our task is to begin to the build up to that, because you've got to have the data and the support which drives that. But I think it's very important to have a consul general here who would be able to do that, to look after the affairs, including a census of how many Bahamians actually live in the Turks and Caicos. And don't hide your light behind a bushel. When they ask you, are you Bahamian? You said, yes, I am. I'm proud. I want to recognize my friend and fellow traveler, Mr. Craig Flowers, who's here, who's joined us from Nassau. And it is always a proud honor to see the Bahamian community, wherever I go, turn out, and to see the enormous pride that Bahamians have in the nation called the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And tonight is no exception. I can see the pride which you have in our country, and we hope that as a government, we are conducting ourselves in a way that makes you proud to be a part of the nation. We have, as one of our colleagues in the cabinet, the Minister for Transport and Energy, who also claims patriality in the Turks and Caicos Islands. And I left her today in the airport, and she said, I am making the correct decision not to come at this period of time so that no accusations can be made about why I am in the Turks and Caicos Islands. But I said to the Honorary Consul that in my case, the only political statement I will make tonight is, when I was in school, 2 + 2 made 4. not 5. And I repeat, 2 plus 2 are 4, not 5. Okay, that's as far as I go with that. But it's an honor to be here. I look forward to meeting with all of your officials during the course of the day tomorrow and to observing the electoral processes. The Bahamas, as a member of CARICOM, has the responsibility for the relationship with the associated states of CARICOM, of which the Turks and Caicos Islands is one such state. And our job is, before every heads of government meeting, and the next one takes place in Barbados on the 18th and 19th of February, is to report to the heads of government of CARICOM about the status of democracy in all of the associated states and the dependent territories. And those dependent territories these days are Bermuda, the Turks and Caicos, Montserrat, Anguilla, and the Cayman Islands. I think that's it. And the British Virgin Islands. Yes, you're absolutely correct. So we did a round robin Friday morning, early Friday morning or Thursday morning, with all of those states reporting in about the status of the democracy, and we understand that there have been significant constitutional changes, which have been broadly accepted by the population here. So we'll report all of those things to the heads of government. And if you remember, when the democracy was suspended, CARICOM again was here to do an investigation. We spoke to all of the stakeholders at that time and gave a report about the conduct of the British government with regard to the suspension of the democracy. So that's our role. We see ourselves as protecting democracy in the sense that even though you're not an independent country, everyone has a right to self-determination, and that right should be protected. And it is our job as independent countries to, whatever your choices are, that's up to you. It's not up to us. But at least you should have the right of one person, one vote, and a fair access to govern yourselves. So that's it. Thank you very much again for coming. I look forward to interacting with the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands and coming back again to see how things develop. And I hope to make a report, as I said, to heads of government in a couple of weeks' time down in Bridgetown, Barbados. So thank you, Mrs. Messon, for a wonderful job getting all of these Bahamians together as what did you say, at the last minute? Yeah, boy, you don't look last minute though. Look like you were working all night. But good. Thank you for being our host and MC. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. God bless you. God bless our two countries, the Turks and Caicos Islands and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And I did go to Mass today at 12:30. Thank you. Oh, I should say, and our Prime Minister sends his greetings. I don't want anybody to report that I didn't say it. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Sure.